Hello. If you found this video, you are most likely dealing with the loss of a pet, and in trying to navigate those feelings of grief. Um, and my intention here is just to offer some guidance and let you know that you're not alone. Okay. It may be the most loneliest time in your life after that loss. Um, but you're not alone. Okay. Sometimes it's hard to talk to people about it, because they may not understand. They may not have ever had that bond with a pet like you have, and they may not understand the significance of that loss, and um, it may even you know invalidate your feelings, in comparisons to, say, a person, uh, or the loss of a child. Um, Now, I come to you with experience here. As I had lost my dog in April of 24. Here we are in February of 26, and I still think about her every day. I've just learned to live with that loss, and I think that's what's important, because you never stop caring, you never stop missing them, you never stop loving, and that emptiness, that void, is always going to be there because they had a very special place in your heart. For me, that dog was there for me through some of the darkest times in my life, when I was suffering through loss already. I was battling depression and PTSD, and I had the loss. My father had passed away, and had some other things going on that were just. It was a very difficult time in my life, and then this couldn't have happened at a worse time for me. At least that's what I thought when it happened. And it happened violently. Um, I found her mutilated body, and minutes after, she was hit by a truck. And I dealt with it at the scene by laying on the side of the road and screaming in agony for a couple hours. The state police and the firefighters and everybody showed up, and they knew that they were just going to leave me there until I was done. Okay. And now we all handle grief differently, and in different stages. And for me, it was the worst thing that could have happened, and it did, and but I fought through the pain, and I fought through that feeling of hopelessness and of the unbearable loss, and I was fighting every day. And one of the things that helped me through it was to believe, that her that she had a purpose in my life, and I had one in hers, and that her purpose had been served, and it was time for her to go home. it was time for her to move on. Does that mean that she's not with me anymore? No, absolutely not. I do believe that she is still around. Guiding me, guiding us through life, and that actually did happen for a reason. And for me, after a year, I finally think I figured out what that reason was, why it happened so tragically and violently, and everything, all the parts and pieces of the whole mystery of it, all are kind of starting to make sense to me now. And you know what, and I believe that they will for you too. Just getting through those first, few weeks, few months, can be really challenging. To the point where you may not want to get out of bed in the morning. You're going to fight through your day. You're going to fight through work or school, and you may get home and crawl right in bed, and that may be the best part of your day. And when you're going to wake up and you're going to do it all over again. But you got to push on, because it gets easier and it starts to make more sense. These critters, they're special. We tell them everything, especially when you might live a kind of a solitary life, for whatever reasons are, and you develop an attachment in just that bond, that love, unconditional loving bond with these animals, and not everybody understands that, and they don't have to. Like I said, you do, and it's okay to grieve, and it's okay to feel that pain and that hurt, and express it however you can. You can write it on paper. You can beat a heavy bag. You can, go out and scream at the top of your lungs, or however you need to release that, that pain, that anger. It's healthy to do that, and not to bottle it all up. Okay, because that, speaking from experience, that doesn't do you any good. That seems to come back at a later time in a way that's not healthy at all for you or anyone around you. So learning to cope in healthy ways is a big part of it. You'll never be able to replace that pet, that love, but you can learn to live with it. And it's been a year now for me, and I'm still learning every day. It still haunts me, the images of what I saw on the road, and then I think about just how perfect she was, and how beautiful she was, and how the stages of grief, like the bargaining, for example, or asking why did this happen? Why did she have to go? Why did that have to happen to such a beautiful creature? But again, I do believe now that there is a reason, and we might not understand it, and especially if it's a violent or tragic way. It might be very hard to comprehend. But for me, I think I'm figuring that out. And it took some work, on myself, making some changes in my life, for the better, offering, more help, and guidance. And it's getting a little easier every day. I've got my other dog, who's her younger sister, who also, was very depressed, and was looking for her all the time, and that's hard to see, and I don't think they they quite understand what's going on sometimes. So we, or maybe they do. Who knows? I don't. But I do believe they have a purpose in our life, and that purpose eventually is served, and they go home until we see them again. So, in whatever your beliefs are, whatever your religious or philosophical beliefs are, you know, I think the general consensus is that that we will see them again, and they are with us now after death. So you just try and push through. Okay, every day, just wake up and stay present. When you wake up, just focus on going and brushing your teeth. Brushing your teeth, and you're thinking about brushing your teeth. And then when you go downstairs and get dressed and make your coffee and jump in your car and you're driving, focus on the steering wheel. Focus on, what's in front of you. And when you get to work, just, minute by minute, every day. And it's such a significant loss that the days are just going to be like torture. But I promise you, okay, I'm just a regular old person. I work in construction. And I promise you, it does get easier. You just hang in there. And I'm here for you. I understand your pain, the loss. So you can message me or comment here, and I will respond, and I'd be happy to talk to you, about it and the process, of the grieving process and the different stages of that and how I handled those stages yeah. So I love you, and the pet loved you, and they know that you love them. So hang in there. It will get easier, and you're not alone. Thanks for watching. Please take care of yourself.